How to unite a deeply divided nation. It's been a week since Donald Trump's election shocked the country, sparked massive protests all over the country. Oh, some overblown, no doubt. Well, now some students are leading a new wave of demonstrations against the president-elect. Here now is Alveda King, the niece of Martin Luther King, Jr. She is also a Fox News contributor. Dr. King, great to see you. What do you make of these protests?
David, I believe that there is unrest in the country, and some people just want some solutions. They want to know what to do. As long as the demonstrations remain peaceful and nonviolent, that won't be a problem, but the violence does have to cease.
Yeah, we're looking now at video of one of the violent confrontations. Not many of them have become violent. This one is in Portland, Oregon.
Right.
But who do you think is behind it? Because some of the groups affiliated with it were the same ones that were doing Occupy Wall Street. Those were funded by George Soros. Do you think it's organized or is it spontaneous?
Some of that is still organized, but I have a quote from my uncle, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., and he said, "If you succumb to the temptation of using violence in the struggle, unborn generations will be the recipients of a long and desolate night of bitterness, and your chief legacy to the future will be an endless reign of meaningless chaos." And I don't think anybody wants that. And we do really have to think about the generations to come. So I do think that some of that is still motivated and generated on purpose, but I believe that if we can begin to unify, work together, and seek peaceful, nonviolent solutions, we're going to do better.
Well, Dr. King, we've had a long and desolate night of bitterness, to quote your uncle, over the past 7 years. I mean, we had a black president elected. It was a wonderful demonstration of America's openness, and yet rather than getting better, people like Al Sharpton went to the White House 80 times. He doesn't seem to be a uniter to me. He seems to be a divider. Black Lives Matter was brought into the White House, et cetera. So what does Donald Trump do now to bring people together?
Well, you know, I'm born into a family of preachers. My dad, A.D. King, my granddaddy, Daddy King, Martin Luther King, Jr. So I want Mr. Trump to remember that many people who voted for him took a long time praying for him. And if he can take some of that divine guidance, that's going to help him out. We do need unity. And from my perspective, as a preacher, as a minister myself, God has not forgotten America. So if Mr. Trump can remember that, I believe that he can take some positive steps towards unity.
Now, it seems like you really think prayer had a decisive role in this election.
I know for sure that people were praying much more than many of us have ever prayed. There was a 16-hour prayer vigil on Election Day from 8 a.m. until midnight. I was a part of that group, and we just prayed across America that God would hear us and unite and heal our land. And many of us, not looking necessarily to Mr. Trump, though, we're praying for Mr. Trump. But we are trying to be back to "In God We Trust." That's what we're looking for.
Dr. Alveda King, great to see you as always, Doctor. Thank you very much for coming back and seeing us.